In the beginning, I take refuge in that most divine form of God that has formed upon my time, upon our new existence, that most lofty, that loftiest, most faithful, most honest figure of divinity that we figured out today, that it is the One. From all Satans, from all chaos, and by that most divine name and the pattern and composition of God, I begin. Regarding the tradition in Islamic, Bayani, and Baha'i, and Qadiani religions, and the submitters to God, led by Dr. Rashad Khalifa. And in ancient biblical and the Torah scripts, you find these three virtues of divinity: the unique or the single, and the one or the unity, and the A, the first. You find these three virtues in the tradition of religions. Even in the I Ching, if you concentrate, you will find the unique and single, that's one description. Another description, the one. Another description is the first. In Arabic language, they read it as Fard, Wahid, Ahad. By the way, even those Arabic-speaking nations, they cannot distinguish between the meaning of these three attributes of divinity. Fard, Wahid, Ahad. Unique or single, one, and the first. Single or unique, meaning upon his era, upon the day of his new existence, of new reformation, none is equal to him. None is equal to its manifestation. Neither in the pureness of his primal motive, when he started the journey of the life of a man, nor in the loftiness and the sacredcy of the aim he reached in his final destination, nor in the quality and perfection of the path he took. So if you compare this one thing to all the things that claim to be equal to it upon their existence and time and event and era, you will find nothing but him has reached that final destination that is loftiest and most sacred. And this interprets that in the beginning, no one had this crystal pure motive. In the beginning, no one had this purity of the motive and the aim he intended in the beginning. And in the uniqueness of this primal point and final point, this would interpret how the composition of every single detail of his life storybook is really meaningful and giving evidence and proof of something very unique, and no one can resemble it. That is the interpretation of uniqueness, to be single. Amongst all these entities who could think they're the same in your outer look, in your human form, yet none of them had reached that aim through this course or route with this very clear and obvious and pure motive and intention in the beginning. That's how it is third, unique, single. Even if this rabbi, messenger, imam, guru, Buddha, Kami, even if he had a wife, a single or unique means that upon his age and limited existence, upon the event of this civilization and century, no one could equalize with him, neither in his beginning nor at the final destination in the end, and of course not in the course and route. He is the only one who could master that route and course again. So it is resemblance. You cannot make resemblances, resembling to it. It has no equivalent. You cannot categorize him to a group to say, okay, this is his sect or this is his category. You can't. It is unique and single. And when you criticize, you will find that the loftiest, most sacred, most honest final destination is the divinity itself. To reach the meaning of divinity and to equalize with your event, your story, your century, your civilization, your kingdoms, your empires, your tribes, your human legacy that you had upon your event in your new day, and to fit every drop of the ocean of divinity and eternity with every drop of events in your era, time, and existence. To be fitting, typical. This would be and shall be the loftiest, most sacred, most holy aim or final destination that only this unique and single one could reach. That's why whenever you try to read his course or his path, you find every single detail is having a function, is doing a specific function to lead to reaching that final aim. Here comes the unity, that you find all the details of his life, they are like branches leading to the essential of the same tree, or like many rivers leading all to the ocean. Nothing is opposite to anything in the details of his composition, because your lifetime is a composition. So you will find none of the details is leading to a dead end. They all lead to this final destination, the divinity meaning within this single existence, upon this eventual life. That gives the interpretation why in his composition or phrasing of his life, he has unity or oneness. He doesn't have schizophrenia. No deed or word or feeling is opposite to the other or lead to cutting the other. They all lead to Rome. This ancient saying, all streets lead to Rome. Because Rome in Arabic, it means Yarum, means yurid Roman. It means aiming. So this is the oneness. All the composite, or the composition, or the combination of his life, they are like parts of single skeleton that's most unique and cannot be resembled. And every specific detail has a specific function to lead to the life and uniqueness of this skeleton with its essential beginning and final aim, the divinity, the God. So it is the form of God, has been formed in new day, yet the God himself or the divinity has been and is and shall always exist. And this gives you some idea and a glimpse about this attribute of divinity, the one. And Christians like to call it the unity. He is the only one that you can say he is all one. All his deeds, his speeches, his history, his future is one, meaning the God. So unique or single, and there is also the one. You can put the parts of his story into a single story giving the meaning of the God. A composition, a phrasing, a combination that could connect to each other and form a coherent mass. That could combine, that clicks and fits to each other. ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا. Meaning that if he has another or meaning or interpretation than the God, then you find hypocrisy. Some deeds are opposite to others, some history opposite to future, some speech is opposite to the deeds. He has a schizophrenia. There is multiple directions leading to dead ends. Yet this single, unique, one form of divinity, he is no hypocrite, not leading to dead ends. He is leading to the eternal and divine. For he began from that same eternal and divine. And his combination and composition and phrasing was beginning and aiming to that eternal and divine, like a tree branching, and these branches gathering again in this same essence, or main trunk of the tree. And exactly like the circle, which the ancient civilizations, they were drawing the time as a circle beginning with degree 0, upgrading into 4 main pillars, the 90, the 180, the 270, and then the 360. You cannot distinguish if it is the beginning or it is the end, since they are one. It's one line, one radius. It is expressed by some as the 0 degree and expressed by others as the 360 degrees. For some, they interpreted that this is the beginning, the bid'ah. For others, they say this is the end, matimba. So, essentially, if you follow mathematics, you will find that the beginning is exactly the end. And then if this one single man has reached the final destination, that he found divinity treasure within all, then he had this very essential motive and intention in the beginning. And this could justify all his paths, for this path began and ended by the divinity. the eternity. And then this whole composition makes one meaning, one aim, one interpretation, the divine, the God. And as he is unique, none is equal or equivalent or resemble him in this era or existence. And he is one and unified, and he is not schizophrenic or having oppositions. I mean, upon himself, there is no oppositions or there is no dead ends. Then he will be the beginning of the new era. He will be like Sunday, the beginning of week. Sunday, the beginning of week, الأحد. وبعديه يأتي اثنين وثلاثاء وأربعاء وخميس وجمعة وسبت ثم الأحد. Yet, always the beginning and the end is the divinity, and divinity never changes. Yet, thus you had only a new form, a new phrase, a new composition, a new combination for the divinity, that the divinity, the eternity, could express itself by it. And this is the meaning of a pattern of God, a form of God, a configuration, and a figure of God, and a name of God. This is how people called God before: Aru, or Arun, or Haut, or Hut, or Tohi, or Tib, or Toba, or Tiba, and the Sir, and the hero, and the Amen, and the Amin, and the Deva, and the Eliyahu, Eliyasha, Eliyaha, Ilaha, and Yeshua, and the Kami, and the Su, or Shu, and the Bida, and the Matimba, and the Khuda, and the God, and the Allah. This is how the names of divinity has formed in every era, in every new existence, in every day, in every civilization, so that these eventual beings that are occurring, they could recognize the unseen divinity, the eternal divinity that never begins or ends, within a new composition or a phrase or a new book or story or a new figure or form or a new name of God, with a new pattern and a drawing. Yet the divine is the same, never changes, without beginning, without end, eternal. So this is just a glimpse for the non-Arabic speakers for these very unique three attributes: al-fard, al-wahid, al-ahad. The single or unique, the one or the unified or the unity, and the beginning or the start or the first. Fardun, wahidun, ahad. And all praises to the divinity that's beginningless, endless, and most eternal. All the praises goes back to this divinity and this supremacy. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.